What is up, gamers, developers, memers? This is going to be somewhat of a half tutorial, half guidance story about my trips in game design and showing you that it's not that hard to get started. It's actually a lot of fun and I enjoy every minute of it, but I'll be giving you some quick tips, some quick hints, and everything you need to do to get started and do it all for free. Without further ado, let's get into it. Your first question should be, what console or platform will my game be played on? If you use a phone, you're going to have to start worrying about how much your battery life is drained, because 3D games on an iPhone definitely do not last very long. But 3D games on a computer or on Steam or anything, that's fine. You can play it, you can put as much in there as you could possibly want. How detailed is up to you. It's just a matter of if it can be run on a computer. You try to make those baseline steps or baseline requirements lower than you need to. That's all the better. There's a way to optimize your game way down the line. If you're on the phone, there's a lot more benefits, but you have to understand that people's attention spans are very short when they're on their phone. So you have to do something very replayability-ish. So Temple Run or Flappy Bird, those were quick, mindless games that people would just do in like 3 or 4 minutes of downtime. Your main goals there are just to keep people sitting on your app for as long as you can. Money making wise, your hope on mobile games is to have them watch ads. That's really the main thing. Microtransactions are possible, but not many people are just throwing money at it ever since Candy Crush absolutely obliterated all of our mom's pockets. I don't think many games are taking that much money out of microtransactions as they used to. Maybe you could find something new with that. I'm not sure. With console games or Steam games, you have to understand that a lot of your money that you're ever going to make is by selling the game itself. Other than that, you're not seeing much ongoing payments rolling in. So those are just two things you have to think about. Each come with their own hassles, but if you do Steam on your computer, it's a lot more interesting seeing all the things you can do with your computer and your game development setup other than what you can just do with a phone. I, like many others, believed that I could have made the most wildly popular game in the world that everyone would play. Well, I didn't, but I had an extreme amount of fun doing it. The main roadblocks that they were preventing me from getting my dreams accomplished were the massive amounts of hurdles that I had to jump over, because I am an idiot and I tried to do it all by myself. So, the main thing that prevents people from being a success story is doing it all by yourself. There are two necessary jobs that go into becoming a successful game developer. Both are equally important, but one kind of can't live without the other, and one could live without the other, but it would be an absolute pain. So you can either be an artist or a developer. You can be both, but it's going to be an absolute pain getting over every single problem and hurdle. Like, you can start being a developer and you can code out some controllers, some game mechanics, and then you'll be sitting there like, I need 40 different character models to make this game somewhat interesting. And all the backgrounds and all the images. Generally, the people that have a developer's mind do not have the artistic creativity in order to make that happen. So, pair up with someone. It's definitely worth it. You can have a lot of fun, and honestly, those are probably the best memories when you get to share your success with someone else. There are so many communities out there for game development that will help you find your other half. If you're an artist, go find a developer, and a developer always needs an artist. You'll share the reward at the end, 50-50. It'll be that simple, because you know those developers will not be able to do any art like if you can. I can't even draw a singular eye, let alone an entire set of character models and a design that actually makes sense across the board. So, my main suggestion is Brackley's. Brackley's is a fantastic YouTube channel. It's a Discord group. They have lots of chats trying to help people get along with their game development. I normally go in there, comment a little, help people out if they're stuck behind something or need a conceptual idea on how to get something done. Even though I don't do as much game development as I normally did, it's always fun to have be the helping hand that gets someone along with their game further along. It's awesome. I feel rewarded. They feel successful. Everyone wins. For my last section, I just want to show you guys some of the games that I've created and how easy they are to make. So I'm going to break down like the building blocks that went into them, show you guys that it's really not that hard of a task to handle. Hardest part is always going to be the artwork, but we'll work at that. There's ways to hide that. I'll show you what I got. Okay, so what we got here is Space Poachers. This was my final project at my university. I'm going to pause this real quick. Explaining what we got here, we just have text overlay on a 3D screen. It's placed right in front of our camera. We have a start button with a box. It has a collider on it, so when the mouse is within the section of the collider and it clicks, it'll trigger the start sequence. We have some aesthetically pleasing pixels going across the screen to give it a spacey feel. Asteroids moving. And when we click that start button, we can see that it's starting that the spaceship to come. So you can pretty much make anything move just by making like translation spots around wherever your sandbox area is. So like it'll just start moving towards those boxes. So it'll hit one box, have another box in front of it, and it'll start moving towards that one, rotating in whatever capacity you want. That's pretty much the main mechanics of movement. That's generally how you can make any AI implementation, is just picking places where they should move next. And they'll orient themselves, is just getting it down all right. But we can see here that this is the main world. I have a couple more cutscenes. Every animation is just triggered to go to those translation points. All of the horribly rendered animals, you can tell that they're horribly animated because they were made by me, so it's authentic. Like I said, not all developers are good at animation. You should probably more rely on someone else to work on that. But either way, it's just really fun to just kind of build out a whole world and just, as soon as you have WASD as movement, you can create whatever world you want. There's a little bit of play here. I have a gun that you can shoot bullets out of. That's pretty much the main portion of the game. It's just colliding those bullets with hit markers on the animals. It makes movements, it makes animations. It's not that big of a deal, but you can see how you're getting to the start of actually creating a whole game based off of just this. So now I want to show you my other attempt. It was at mobile development, so give me one sec. Alright, so this is my first mobile game development experience where I was trying to emulate something of a Subway Surfer or a Temple Run, where your game just constantly goes. It's never going to end, and just obstacles are coming at you. And those obstacles are only just a calculation of hitting the box that your player model is on and themselves. So once they collide, game over, it restarts. You have more points to spend, and basically you just come up with a balancing sheet of all the different things that you want power-ups wise. So I have turning speed and flight speed. And what was really cool about this game was trying to figure out the game mechanic on how I want people to move. I started out by having the phone just turning left and right in order to actually show that the game is like moving your character in the world. So you're not sure if your character's moving, you're not sure if the entire tunnel is moving. Either way, it was a cool mechanic that I added into the game. Well, that is all I have for you guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I showed game development to be an enjoyable and fun experience that I've kind of had already on my own. I want you to have the same. If you guys have any cool game ideas, I would love to hear them. Like something you thought of like when you were like 13 and you thought, oh man, it's going to be awesome. Like I had an idea called Destruction Dolphins. Never got around to making, but it was going to be pretty sick if I actually dreamt it up. But please feel free to like or subscribe That would be awesome. You guys are fantastic, and happy developing.